We're gonna start with ab workouts, and then we'll get to the bag. But first, we're gonna do some leg raises. We're gonna do 30. Oh, okay. 5 more. 26. 27. 28. Alright. We'll take like a 15-second break in between those. And then next what we got is, I don't know what you call these. You're here, and then we're going to just pull them in. Little crunches, so. And then for these, we're only going to do 3 sets. And if you want, I recommend doing these at home with me. That way you'll get a quick ab workout in. It's not too difficult, but definitely tightens up your core. And then, like I said, we'll get to the bag after this. So next we got is hollow holds. I shake during these sometimes, but it's kind of like the rocks. But you're here, these are gonna be out, and then you're just gonna have your shoulders up. Then you're gonna reach up to the roof, and we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds. All right, 5 more seconds on the break. Let's do it. So these are called hollow holds, and we're gonna hold it for 30 seconds. So we're here, and you want to make sure that your lower back is glued to the ground. Alright, next thing. I just count in my head, so I may be off a little bit, but there's 30, and then we're going to finish it off with a 1-minute plank. Like I said, I just count to 60 in my head, so whatever that comes out to. Well, we're going to take like 10-15 seconds, and we'll get into that. So. And then that will complete the 1 set, and then after that, like I said, we have 2 more sets of it. So I'm going to get into a plank, and we're going to hold it for 60 seconds. Alright, so about halfway there. I'd say it's about 30 seconds. So we got 30 more seconds. Cool. And I say that's about 60, so that's going to just be our first set. And then we'll do some more after that. Hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate it. If you're at home and you want to do a quick ab workout that's not too difficult, join up with me. We've got 2 more sets on it before we start doing bag work. So It's just some leg raises, some crunches, stuff like that. So we'll get back into the leg raises. Oh. So like I said, we do 30 leg raises to start off the set. All right, let's get it. All right, there's 15, so we're halfway through. Whew. Let me see. Good day from Australia. Oh, what's up? What's the temperature like in Australia? It's pretty hot there too, right? What's going on, Flash? Yeah, because out here it's, I think, like I said, it's like 102. It's supposed to get up to 107 today. So, at least it's a little cooler out while I'm doing the workout right now. Oh. All right, next ab workout, like I said, we're gonna do, I'm not sure what they're called, essentially kind of crunches. Your leg's gonna come out, and you're just gonna crunch it back up. We're gonna do 30 of those. So, I'm gonna take like a 5-second breathing though, so. All right, let's get it. All right, 10 more. Whew. It'll still get me. All right, and like I said, next we got hollow holds. So take a 10-15 second break in between, and we'll get to the hollow holds here. All right. So hollow holds, like I said, you're gonna have your feet raised off the ground a little bit, and you're gonna glue your lower back to the ground, shoulders off, kind of reaching up for the ceiling a little bit. And we'll do it for 30 seconds. All right, there's about 15 seconds. There we go. Whew. As I count in my head, so I may be off a little bit, but. Nice try, Max Me. That's funny. Damn, you making pizza? I don't understand the joke there. Estonia, I don't even know where that is. All right. And lastly, we're gonna do that plank for about 60 seconds. Let's get it. Alright, there's 30 seconds. We're about halfway through. Alright, there's 60. We got one more set of the ab workouts, and then we'll get to the bag. So. Alright, let's get it. Last set. Oh, shit. That last set definitely gets a lot harder. Definitely gets a lot harder than before. Whew, alright. Now we got the crunches. Or whatever you want to call them. Alright, we got 30 here, so let's get it. Typically every other workout I do 4 sets, but I got this workout from some YouTube video or something, and they only do 3 sets, so I was like, screw it, we'll just do 3 sets for these abs. Later we'll do some side plate lunges and stuff, but as of now, we just do 3 sets for these basic ab workouts. Next we got hollow holds here, which we're holding for 30 seconds. Let's get it. All right. I might start shaking on this one. About 10 seconds left. Shit. I tell you, the temperature doesn't make this much easier either. It's hot as hell. Alright. Oh. Last we got the minute plank. Let's go. All right, there's 30, so we got 30 more seconds. All right. There's 60. That concludes it for the abs. I'm already dripping in sweat, and we haven't even gotten to the bag work yet. So. Oh. Man, my body does not want to move today, but we'll get going. Shit, I need to get me gloves though. Look at these things. Absolutely getting destroyed. But they work, so I'm not complaining. Oh. So, double hook on one side is one of my favorites. Just on the body here. The way you want to do it is you're going to keep most of your weight loaded on that front foot. That way you can just pivot and explode off of it. So you're here. Say you do a jab straight first. I switched to southpaw so y'all can see on this side. Do a jab straight, you roll under. Keep that weight on that front foot. That way you just explode. And you're going to keep it there on the front foot so you go. And then you slide back out. So that's how you get that double front body hook. And if you want, you can take it upstairs after that body hook. So you're here. And when we practice on one side, we got to practice on the other. So we're going to go back to orthodox. Now we're going to take it upstairs. Now, power strikes is a lot different than like actually working movement. So if you notice when I'm throwing power hits, it's not like I'm sitting here dancing with it. Power hits is more just for conditioning, breaking a sweat, learning how to load it up. So it's a lot different than if you're actually, you know, moving with it. So. Alright, so commonly the jab straight is one of the best setups. You got your jab here, keeping the distance, finding the range. You throw that straight. Like Izzy loves to do it, you just keep that hand there and just pull that roundhouse kick up. So you're kind of blocking their vision with it. So if you're just getting into fighting, get used to just keeping that jab going. Into the jab straight, because you throw the jab straight, you can hit a hook, you can body hook, you can throw a kick, leg kicks. Just kind of sets up all the rest of your moves. As you can tell, I'm just loading it up here, so it's not really a speed drill. Now we're about to do one of my favorite workouts, especially in this kind of temperature, is just straight body hooks for pretty much however long you can do it. And all you're doing here is you're gonna be like feet side by side, so you're not in like any fighting stance or anything. You just stay covered up, and it's just 1, 2, and you just gotta just unload on the bag. Just it's great condition. So if you want to set up an elbow coming off that jab straight, what you want to do here is your elbow's a little too far away, so you're going to kind of skip step it. So you're here, you're 1, 2, take those feet, you're going to do a little slide step. Bring that back foot to the front one, that way you can close the distance and get that elbow to connect. Like I said, if you don't do it, if you don't do a skip step, you're here, out of range. So you're here, and when you're finishing that, when you're pulling it back, that's when you're slipping in to connect with that elbow. Alright, now doing southpaw. It's here, pop, pop. Skip step. And you want to keep this hand here, because after that elbow, if you want, you can just do that body shot again. Nice. Now, one of people's favorites is Muay Thai's teep kick, right? So, What's easy about that is you can do your front foot or back foot. So, I mean, obviously you want to keep your hands up, but so what you're doing here is just a push off. Typically you're going to put it in their sternum or their solar plexus. If someone's crowding and stuff, and Muay Thai especially, you're going to lean back a little and extend it out. Just to give you that little bit of time, that little bit of spacing. If you don't want to use your front foot, that back foot's always there too. So you're here, and shit, I wasn't trying to knock it over, so. Again, so you're here. And then you also got your leg kick that you just saw there. So my favorite kind of leg kick, we can go off that jab straight again, is when you load it up. So you're here, you hit the jab straight, and instead of just pivoting right here and kicking, we're going to do a slight little leap out to the side, and that's when you pull it in. And that little leap, that little jump, gives you so much more power on it. So instead of here, you're here, jab straight, give that little jump. Like I said, what we do on the one side, we gotta do on the other side. So we're here, jab straight. Like I said, we're not just pivoting on a normal one, taking that little leap out, so we do that leg kick. There. It's pretty hot, so getting some water real quick. Does anyone have any questions on how to do techniques or something? Or certain combos to set up? Shit, it's hot. Well, if you think of any, or if you got any tips or something and want me to try something, just comment below. Alright, so one thing we can set up, everyone loves that overhand right? Everybody loves one. I guess it's technically more like that, but pretty much it. So if you're going to throw it, all good, rotate your body this way. Like I was showing earlier, just rotate underneath with that body hook. And if you want, just come back upstairs and here. Because you'll be off the center of line. So when you hit here, off the center of line, open it up. And you can come back over top if you want. Or you can stay low. So. Now it's annoying. I wish I had a hanging bag so it didn't wobble as much as it does, because then I could go faster with it. But if you hit it hard enough, it starts wobbling around. Same thing this side, we got the overhand. After that overhand connects, bring it here. Got the body shot, back to the overhand. All right. Some kicks in. So Shit, I'm sweating. So some of people's most favorite kicks is the question mark kick. And I'll teach you how to do that. So when you're here, the whole point of the question mark kick is to bring that guard down so if someone blocks low. It used to originate from like a fake front kick, but to get more of that effect, you're going to pretend like it's a hacky sack. You're going to hacky sack it, pivot on that bottom foot, and throw a roundhouse kick downwards, just to get a little bit more of that question mark effect. So when you're here, and you're fighting and stuff, you're not throwing kicks, you're here and you go. And just that split second of the little feint down low, get them to drop their guard, especially if you've been just pounding their leg all night. And get them to drop their hands almost every time. So you're here, pull it up like a hacky sack, pivot on that bottom foot, and just throw that roundhouse kick. And when you're kicking with the roundhouse, you want to primarily hit with this part of your shin. I know in Taekwondo and stuff, they'll hit with like the balls of their feet. I did Taekwondo for a long time. It's a lot more painful getting hit by a shin. So I recommend hitting with the shin. So you're here. Alright. Like I always say, we did one side, now let's do the other. So pull up hacky sack. And you can tell this is my left leg, so it might take a couple more strikes to make it look as fluid. So. Oh, it's rough. Okay. I'll be the first to admit I have not practiced my left side nearly as much as I thought I did. So that's something I gotta work on. Alright. Another kick people love is a switch kick. The reason it's a good kick, it throws people off. So say you're here, right? And like I said, you've been throwing this leg kick, you're throwing this high kick, and you're still in that orthodox position. They're expecting a kick coming from this side and then down. So what you do here is you're here, leg switch like that. If you want to make it quicker, you can go like sideways more, depending on the situation. But you're here, switch the feet, literally in the name of switch kick, switch them, and just explode off that back foot. So you're here, switch, make sure to keep this hand up in front at least. That way you can parry, close up, and you power up like that. Alright, other side, so if we're fighting southpaw, it might be reversed on your camera since it's my front screen. Southpaw over here, switch, explode. Same thing if you're fighting southpaw the whole time, or if you switch up during the fight. There's glamour to this side with leg kicks, head kicks. You're gonna throw it, nope. Switch to the other side. So. I need to get a better mat. This one wants to slip out from underneath me, but I got weights on the corners. Just to do the best to hold it, but shit, I'm dripping in sweat. Where's my towel? Okay. And like the last live, I showed y'all how to like do the boxer skip. In case anyone's here who wasn't here last time, I'll show you again. So you have different fighting styles, right? You got like the heavy set, just oof. But then you also have like the McGregors, where they bounce back and forth. But so if you want to learn the boxing skip, what you're gonna do is put your feet into an L, just like this, right? And instead of jumping, it's more of a spring off of your calves, right? So it's calf, and then to switch sides, you just switch the L over. So when you see them here, they're working on just a little bit of hip rotation. And you can stay on one side as long as you want. Kind of like shadow boxing, you're gonna imagine just combinations that you could throw off of it. Obviously this isn't an actual stance, but it just makes you much more familiar with the movement and the rhythm. So if you want to sit down, let them out, bounce up. It's just a perfect way to warm up all your muscles, get bouncing. I have a speed rope somewhere, I'm not sure where it went, or else I'll just show you with the speed rope. But like I said, so McGregor's is much more of a taekwondo base, to where you're here like this. So that way you can close back out or just close the distance. So that's the point of this drill here. So you get in a fighting stance, one foot in front, and you bounce back and forth. And then to switch, because we want to practice switching different stances, you go here to the side. Obviously you're not going to stay here, and then back to the front. So that way you can practice both sides, orthodox, southpaw, whichever stance you're in. Smack you sliding from me. But that way, if you're fighting, you can easily switch stances and it throws them off, right? Because if you're throwing switch kicks, you're pounding one side, and then you start suddenly fighting southpaw, it's going to throw them off. The spacing's different on southpaw. The solar plexus is different. If they keep getting a hook in your solar plexus and you're having trouble blocking it, if you switch stances, they gotta change up their whole game just to try to find it. Now, I know a lot of, especially newer fighters, they'll say only practice one side. Like if you're right-handed, keep that hand chambered. I've been fighting since I was 4, and my dad always just made us, whatever you do on one side, you do with the other. That way, say your right hand your arm gets dislocated or something, then you can still work with your non-dominant hand pretty effectively. Yeah, so that's just some of the footwork. One thing I'd recommend, now, I don't remember where we got this, but I'd recommend a mini trampoline. Just because when you're here, if you want to get pacing down really well, it helps you with that bounce, right? Oh, I get sweat in my eyes. So kind of like how I was showing you how to do a boxer skip, it kind of helps you with that rhythm of how to just keep it bouncing. And like I said, if you want to stay on one side, you stay on that side. You stay on the other side. That's when you're here. You just kind of toss your hands, kind of like when you jog. Just toss the hands off. Just let it flow. Because it's that flowing movement that creates the muscle memory. So you don't have to really think about much anymore, right? Kind of like breathing. If you build up muscle memory, if someone throws something at you, you'll naturally cover up. You'll naturally respond with certain techniques. That being said, the more skilled of a fighter, the more you're going to have to think. But there's just going to be so many times when it's just natural. You cover up, and then you just open up with that. Like, I can't tell you how natural just the jab, straight, hook, uppercut, it just all kind of flows. And when you throw these shots, people have trouble getting them to flow, right? People have trouble with the continuous motion. So what I recommend is, imagine every punch you throw is a load up for another. So if I throw this jab, that's loading up this backside. When I rotate into this, that's loading up this side to throw the hook. When I throw that, that's loading up this backside again. So every time you throw it, just kind of feel that back and forth motion, right? It's just back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back. And then you can always just switch them up, or you can always just stay in one place and unload it there. But that's kind of how you get that rhythm that a lot of fighters have, especially when they're shadow boxing and they're going quick. Now they just do shorter punches. You keep your hands out in front of you, because if your hand's back here, it takes a lot longer for that rear hand to get here. It's a lot more powerful, but if you're working on solely speed, you want to try to make the fluidness, you're going to have them pretty much right in front of you like boxers do. That way they can both come out at roughly the same time, and you see them do all that shit and stuff. it just helps create that fluid motion of continuous strikes. That way if you do get into a fight or a sparring match or anything, it just feels 10 times more natural than if you're only straight up practicing one way. And each person you fight is going to have a different fighting style. If they're taller, you might want to get in close, or you might want to keep bouncing in and out just to keep messing with their range. If they're stronger, if they're faster, each opponent's going to have a little bit of a different way to fight them. But so especially if I fight orthodox, right, I'm much more heavier on my feet, much more power kicks and striking because I'm right-handed. If I'm fighting southpaw, I'm fighting much more in and out, and I'm using that front hand and foot to kind of keep the distance, and then I'll step into a kick, and then right there, boom, you're back into your orthodox stance. Your southpaw, you like kick through, and then here you're back into orthodox, where you feel most comfortable, or vice versa, whatever side you feel best at. We're gonna get this out of the way, get back to bag work. Whew. But I'll tell you, it is hot. I've been out here for what, 40 minutes now? Yeah. There's not much circulation in here. I got a little fan in the back, but 103 degrees. Well, it's 2 o'clock, so it's probably even hotter now. Yeah, it's a good workout. So, in the future, I'm gonna try to become more consistent with my going lives. That way, if you want to join up and we can actually work out together and stuff, we can do that. So. Well, I was telling you I need new gloves. Got black stuff coming all over me since they're like ripping apart. So. But like I said, they work, so I'm not worried about it. So another thing is if you want to practice striking while moving forward or backwards, this is how you're going to want to do it. So you have your jab straight. If someone's pushing you, what you're going to want to do is if you're moving back, when you throw your jab, you step back with the rear foot, and when you throw your straight, you step back with the front foot. That way, you can keep throwing strikes while backing up. If you're going forward, it's the opposite. You're going to step with the front foot and then step with the rear. Granted, your strikes won't have as much power to them, but this way you can keep closing in and out, keep consistent pressure without dropping your guard and without stopping your strike. Like I said, if you're moving backwards, it's the opposite. So back foot, front foot, back foot, front foot. Moving forward, it's the same foot as the hand you're throwing with. And that way, you can keep constant pressure. So now, I'm just going to practice the power hooks. One of my favorite ways to do that is you're just going to slowly put your hand here. You're just going to rotate into it. Every time you bring that hand back, putting it here, just to block that side of the face. Now, I see a lot of guys pivot that front foot. It's not always necessary, especially if you're here and you just want to throw a quick hook. If you do want to get more power, go ahead and pivot that, but it's not always necessary. The other side here, so here. And if you like this kind of content, go check out my page. Subscribe to it. I teach how to do a bunch of different kicks, setups, things of that nature. Some flash kicks, all that fun stuff. So, running out of stamina a little bit, so we're going to get a little more ab workouts in before. one of my favorite ab workouts. I used to use a 45-pound plate, but I don't have one. For those obliques, you're just gonna keep it down on your side, and down, and you're gonna pull it up. And I like to do 13 each side. And when you come back up, just squeeze this opposite side, and you'll really feel the contraction, and it'll definitely help taking body shots. But like hooks and everything like that, it is absolutely crucial that you get a stronger core. Now, I haven't been keeping count, so I'm just going to go until it starts to hurt a decent amount. All right, do this side. All right, there's 13. Oh. That's all nunchucks. Okay. So, growing up doing a different bunch of martial arts, we of course took weapons, right? Nunchucks were my least favorite, but they are still fun and they can look cool. So one of the most basic ways to make it look like you know what you're doing nunchucks is this move right here. Because you have your standard back, forth, behind, catch, strike out like that, right? But your fancy one is when you just roll it over the hands like that. So these are wood. If you're going to be practicing with nunchucks, I recommend you get either foam ones or like the carbon fiber ones, because if you crack yourself with these, they will bruise. So if you want to do this, you rotate it over your hand like that. All you're going to do is, so before I do that, nunchucks typically you want this rope to be about the width of your hand. Now these are larger than I would like, but they're the only ones I have, so we're going to make do with them. So you're here, you're going to put your hand as close as you can to the rope, and you're going to roll it over top your hand. And then you're going to keep your hand open just to grab onto this one. To bring it back the other way, same thing. Now the figure 8 allows it to be much more fluid without stopping. Because if you just stay in front, it's going to have to wind up and then come back through like that. See, and it just doesn't go smoothly. But so if you're here and you do the figure 8, like I said, this is probably the most simple way just to make it look like you're well experienced with nunchucks. While, like I said, while they're one of the ones I've practiced with the least, they absolutely will do a ton of damage. Gibraltar Español. No entiendo, Sergio. Lo siento. Pero, yeah, so you're here. And then just to get used to them, you speed it up. Why is he so oily? Because it's 103 in here. So I'm sweating to death. And I've been out here for about an hour. So, yeah. So that's the nunchucks for you. I need to make more videos on how to do them. Like more step through, walkthroughs, but that's generally how to do it. I see so oily, that's funny. Oh. Alright, probably got about 15 more minutes in me, if that. We'll get some kicks in. So this one's a lot of people's favorite. It's just a flashy kick. Typically, you won't see it very often, but it's the tornado kick. When you're here, you step through. You have your right foot back and you're orthodox. You step through here, bring this foot up and around, jump over and throw. Essentially, it's a fancy roundhouse kick, but you build a lot more torque and speed into it. So you're here, and you connect. That rotation of the body as well with the spin, you can build up a lot more power than just a simple roundhouse kick. Ooh. See, I had to pull that one back. I was too far away. I should have cracked my foot if I connected with it. And like anything, the more you throw it, the easier it gets, the more fluid it gets. Oh, the left leg's not as comfortable. Leaning back too much on it. It's gonna piss me off. Right here. 1, 2. There we go. How to break it down more step by step. Now, the most powerful kick, and my absolute favorite kick, covers distance like no other, and it's by far the most powerful. It's a step behind side kick. So, as you can see, I'm a good distance away from the bag, right? So what you do here is you step this back foot behind. Like I said before, you don't typically want to cross your feet, but if you're this far away, you don't really have to worry about them closing the distance. So you here, it's a step behind, and you jump into that side kick, right? And this one can easily knock the bag over consistently. So you're here. And you just explode. Same thing this way, you're here. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to get in. 2, you do this little hop skip. And to tell you that will pick someone off their feet or just break their ribs is an understatement. That shit hurts. It's by far one of my favorites because people don't really expect an attack out here. And if you want to make it a little bit more tricky, what you do is you just throw that fake jab when you come in. Get them to raise their hands. And as soon as their hands come up, you just connect with that side kick there. Now, in here. Oh. All right, that's about it for today. Like I said, if you like the video, you want to see more content like this or just learn more, go to my channel, like, subscribe the video, and yeah, I'll see you next time. So comment if you ever want to see any other moves, if you want to see more conditioning stuff, more gymming, just kind of let me know. But I appreciate you guys for joining up, and I'll see you next time. Oh, shit.